Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching GEEKCASTER. I'm Michael, and today we have Felix. How you doing, Ray?
Doing okay.
Wow, what's happening?
It's like you're like, what's going on? How you feeling, man?
I'm good. So, you've been on the show before.
Yes, I have.
So, but tell the folks a little bit about what you do.
Well, what this guy Ray Felix does, he's the founder and creator of Bronx Heroes Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
It's a comic convention in the community in the Bronx. It's been around since 2008.
Mm-hmm.
We went off a little hiatus back on the 7th anniversary. Then we switched the name to Women in Comics Convention.
Okay.
To make it more universal and broader. So it was Bronx Heroes / Lock It Down Productions Women in Comics Con. We've done that for 5 years now. And the 12th anniversary of the comic convention is coming up. So next year, 2020.
So, question: What was it like to create a con called Women in Comics, being a male doing it?
Well, that's funny that you say that because a lot of women weren't happy.
Really?
Yeah.
They weren't happy.
No, it's like, I mean, my idea was I know all these females in the industry, you know. At the time, I was thinking, you know, as an educator, teaching art and doing these shows, that a lot of the girls were that showed more potential as artists. They were better inkers, some were better pencilers, some were better storytellers than guys. Guys just think too much about like typical stuff, you know, like action or fighting.
Right.
And the women had more intricate stories that I thought were interesting. And then I knew so many creators, and women weren't being highlighted at that point in the industry. Like now, Marvel is taking a big jump to hiring female artists, female writers, and but no one was really doing that at that point, you know, 5-6 years ago. So put together the con, and I went to the Bronx Council, asked for grants, wrote some grants, got accepted. I flew out Athena Finger from Florida. She hosted the first annual one.
Okay.
She was like, what do they call? There's a term for that. Anyway, she's kind of like the
coordinator or
no, she was just
producer?
the main host.
Host.
Okay, for the best, but I was thinking of something else.
No worries, but that's huge, though.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, it was
that's
amazing.
huge.
Yeah,
so this is not fake for you. There's a passion, there's a vision there.
Yeah, and then we got all the females: Regine Sawyer and Sarah Woolley and Letha E. Martinez. And, a bunch of folks. Rika Takashima was a Japanese animator. Those are the original members. Michelle St. Martin. We put them on a panel. Panel blew up. Then we did a gallery show. Then the gallery show was a hit. And then the first 3 years we did gallery show, convention. And then Regine started doing her shows, gallery shows. And then the third year I was like, you know, I'm a little tired. I was burnt out. I was going through stuff. I was just over that lawsuit with Marvel.
Right.
You know, I had some personal stuff going on, some work-related stuff going on. So I just had a lot of court going on. So I was like, I think you need to take this over because I think I'm kind of burnt out from doing all this stuff. So.
Well, when do you think you're going to get it back in the saddle?
This is 2020. Been talking to the Andrew Friedman home, trying to see if we're going to get a show there.
Okay.
Bring it back. I mean, they have Women in Comics still does shows. You know, after it was taken over by Regine, like she's managing it. You know.
Right.
But I want to get it back to the Bronx, back to the roots. Like she put it to Brooklyn, and then she took it to Queens. But honestly, it's like I feel that Bronx is the home. It's the hub. And that's still no other conventions exist in the Bronx except for like the kids Comic-Con, you know.
Right.
It's not like, you know what I'm saying? There's not like a major con in the Bronx, and I think the Bronx needs a con, and, it needs to stay there, you know.
Okay.
So You know what I mean? I think, every Manhattan has cons, Brooklyn has multiple cons, Queens has multiple cons, Long Island, Staten Island, they all got cons. But the Bronx con has been absent for 2 years because it was taken outside. So it's time to bring it back,
So what, because you do conventions.
Yep, still.
But you're an artist. Let's
Yep.
not forget that you actually create comic books. So you have anything that you're working on now?
Yeah, Bronx Heroes in Trump Land.
Actually, no, we'll
Amazon.
let's get a good thing on that.
It's coming in 2020.
Hold on 1 second. So people can see that.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Tilt that down just so the folks get some light on there. So that's a very interesting. So is Trump a superhero? Is he a super villain?
He's a villain. He's a dictator.
Oh wow!
So the story takes place like in 2016.
Okay.
And the hero Astron that was created by Tom Siak in 1977. I met Tom Siak at the WinterCon 5 years ago.
Okay.
We decided to do a collaboration of Bronx Heroes, and he was like, "Hey, let's do a book on Trump." And I was like, "Okay, whatever."
Wow.
This is before he was elected. This is like 2015.
Oh wow.
And then we were working on the book.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, "Man, we're not going to have this in time." Then he became the Republican nominee. And I was like, "Yo, this is serious. He might get this. He might win."
Right.
And then he was like, "No, he's not going to win." I said, well, "Okay, well." And then we didn't finish the book. We were working on it for a long time. And then he got elected, and I was like, "What the hell?" So I called Tom from Mexico. And I was like, "Tom, he got elected. We could still do the book." Because I was like, Hillary's going to get elected. People are going to forget about him. No one's going to know Trump.
So you did this before he became president.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us, what is his role in this fictional world?
In this book, it started off in the future in the year 2026.
Okay.
Trump's a dictator. It was like a what if he became president, but became a dictator and took over the world.
Wow.
So he takes over everything in the United States. He builds a wall in every state, not just Mexico. And then he builds a wall in New York City. And then the last bastion of hope is the Bronx. The Bronx heroes are protecting the Bronx.
Wow.
So he has to take out the Bronx heroes. He's defeated his enemies. He's like a Dr. Doom type of character where he's just, him and his wife Malaria are, controlling the world through Fox News. And, we even had Putin in it because, he was always bragging about Russians and Russian money, his sons and stuff. Now he's denying it. But, so Putin was the mastermind behind him that controls him with the toupee.
Now, is this already out?
It's already out for sale, but it doesn't come out until April 2020.
Okay.
So the story goes like this, is that we started working on the book. It was 46 pages. We finished it. And I was like, all right, we'll publish it in black and white because it's too many pages to color. And Tom's like, okay, I'll shop it around. So he's shopping it around. He's listening to NPR. He hears this program on NPR about some graphic novel that's put out on this political person. And he says, I'm going to call them up. So he calls them up, sends them the 46-page book, but he writes a proposal saying it's 100 pages.
Nice.
Doesn't tell me. They sign like that, super quick.
Wow.
And I was like blown away. I was like, no way. The book is tight. It's a really good book.
Right.
Got Tom Ahern inking and doing finishing pencils, Tom Siak and myself. But then that meant that I had to finish this book. We had to add more to it. So the book was just tongue-in-cheek, making fun of Trump. Future story, that was it.
Now, mind you, there are a lot of people that are pro-Trump. Have you had any individuals that say, hey, what, you're making fun of the president? What are you doing?
I don't care.
Are you Are you being disrespectful?
I wouldn't say disrespectful. I think if you put yourself up as a president, no matter who you are, you're going to be the subject of criticism, and you're going to be laughed at. It's like, you know, that's just, you know.
Part of the deal?
That's part of the deal, right? Every president has cartoons on them, right? They make fun of them. That's politics. That's part of politics, is satire.
Okay.
And that's an American thing. So, you know, he's a neo-Nazi. And that we put that in there, you know. He's a racist. And we're not denying that. We're not celebrating him in any way. And then, so with the pages, we created a new beginning that started in 2016. It starts off the beginning of his election, how he came into power. And then how Astron travels to the past, to the future, 2026, to see him and say, oh my God, he's a dictator. I got to go back to the past to try to get a Bronx hero. So he goes to 1975, he finds Black Power, Muhammad X, and brings him back to the future.
Wow.
Back to the future.
Wow.
And they fight Trump, they fight malaria, they fight Pence, who's called Captain MAGA.
Oh, man.
He has a lot of minions. They fight the deplorables, these creatures, you know. It's like, it was like, you know, back in the day they were saying there's the hidden Trump voter because Hillary took, you know, she paid $18 million to the DNC, so all the Bernie people were disgraced. So they claimed that some Democrats turned Republican because they were not going to vote for Hillary.
Wow.
So, and they were coined the hidden Trump voter. So the hidden Trump voter, the ones that were voting for Bernie, are put into a machine and they're turned into deplorables.
Now, because there's so much interesting topics that come out every day, let's say it that way,
Right.
in reference to the commander-in-chief, the present one.
Right.
Do you feel like, oh my goodness, let's add a little more, oh my goodness, we missed out on...
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, right now, the big conversation is impeachment and stuff like that.
So we were doing everything, like, trying to catch up, because this is what it was. Our book was too fictional, it was too comic booky. So they wanted more real stuff, like you're saying.
Oh, wow.
So we did the origin.
That's interesting, because usually people say...
Yeah, get away from it.
Yeah.
And then it was a Canadian publisher. They're Arsenal Pulp Press. And they're not afraid of getting into politics.
Gotcha.
And then, like, they cleared this with lawyers to make sure they don't get sued. They did a whole thing. So I did a Mueller comic with my character G.I. American, which I created. It was like a parody of Captain America when I was being sued by Marvel and DC. I reprise him, and he's like Mueller's agent, and he's actually breaking up the meeting at the Trump Hotel with the Russians. And so it's like him, and he has like this sidekick called Kid USA.
Oh, man.
And then, so they're like, and then there's the last strip is heavy traffic and teaching people how to vote. You know, people like how to register to vote, how to select, how to fill out your application, how to make sure your card is registered on time, how to feed it into the machine,
right?
You know, things like that. Because I thought it's important for our electors, people who vote to register and know how to do it. You know,
right?
I remember when Obama was in second term, people were showing up saying, "I'm going to vote for Obama," but they didn't register.
Wow, that's right. They didn't know.
They didn't know
the right
process.
procedures.
And these are people in their 30s. It's like these millennials. It's like, man, what's up going on? It's like, you don't know about the card, the deadline.
Well, you know, a lot of people voted for the first time or attempted to vote for the first time.
Yeah.
So, do you think that this work of art is not just entertainment? You think it might inspire people in different ways?
I mean, you know me. I've been writing kind of like politics and everything I do. So I think it's going to inspire people. It's going to educate people. It's going to get people the facts, you know, because, you know, with the Trump stuff, we make a lot of fun about it. It's all tongue-in-cheek. It's rhyming, you know. It's like a rhyming, rapping comic. So the whole comic book, you can read it and rhyme. You know? It's like, I saw it like a Disney musical. Like, what if Disney did a rap?
Now, what if they approach you?
You know?
Even though you had a very interesting history with Marvel.
Right.
What if they say, you know what? And, you know, I think people are going to be a lot more warm to what you're doing.
Hopefully.
Once the alleged impeachment goes through.
Yeah.
Then it will be like, oh, then you'd become a Bronx hero, basically.
Yeah, hopefully. Art imitates life, right?
You know?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, The Simpsons.
Uh-huh.
How many things did they predict?
I know, so many.
And still to this day, like, I can't remember the young lady's name, but she's 14 and she gave this whole speech.
Oh, yeah. Greta.
Right.
Greta,
on, global warming.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that happened in The Simpsons as well.
Really?
With the Bart's sister, not the baby.
Lisa.
Lisa gave a whole speech, and someone said, "You see, The Simpsons."
The Simpsons is prophecy.
You think it's just by luck?
No, I just think that we follow trends, and we repeat ourselves as humans. So, just like, what was it, Back to the Future predicted that a guy like Donald Trump would become president and that the Red Sox would win the World Series.
Right.
It's like we're all under the same vibration, and maybe they're shaman. Maybe there's some shaman.
Writers?
Writers that
on the low.
Yeah, they don't realize it. They don't know it. They can.
I see what's happening. I see what's happening.
Yeah, they tap into that collective unconscious, right?
Wow.
You never know.
So what predictions? And again, let's say the name of this again. This is Bronx Heroes in Trump Land.
Yeah.
What predictions would you like to happen from this piece of art to become life?
Oh, that he gets taken out and shot into space. He gets banned from the planet.
Now, which characters of Bronx Heroes are fighting? Is all your characters are going against him, or?
No, it's Astron, who's like an honorary Bronx hero.
Okay.
He's not really my creation. He's Tom's creation.
Okay.
From Galaxia magazine back in '77.
Okay.
He's repping the Bronx heroes. Black Power is the Bronx hero, the main character. Heavy Traffic makes an appearance.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't put the Roach in it, but and then GI American. Those are the three. Yeah, because it's like you have other books, the contracts.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to freeze up all your assets in one project, and then they have rights to this book for 5 years. So but I mean,
now when they have rights to reproduce it and sell it, or do they have rights to your characters?
They have rights to the characters within the context of this book, nothing beyond that. So I was very careful. We got this lawyer that represented Robert Kirkman at one time to look over the contract.
I gotta write down that phrase. That's tricky and interesting and good.
Yeah, exactly. Because you don't want them. Originally, the contract would have given control of the characters
to do anything they want.
And they wanted the international film rights and things like that, and we said no. So we had a lawyer who was very helpful, help us out through Tom's girlfriend, Felix.
Can you say that one more time? Rights to the characters
within that context of this book. Yeah.
So whatever's not written in the book, they can't.
They cannot. Right. And we explicitly stated that these characters had existed outside of this book and pre-existing material, and then material that would be continuing, so that and that this contract didn't pertain to those properties.
Okay.
Because Astron's a trademarked, copyrighted character. Black Power, Heavy Traffic, they're all copyrighted, trademarked characters. So you don't want to give away your stuff to Canadians, because if something ever happens, then that means you're going to have to hire a lawyer in Canada. You're fighting in a different judicial system, and there's different rules. Our government and their government's very different. But these guys seem very hip with it. They're very proactive. I mean, they look, they're pretty straight up.
Okay.
We're getting some international royalties and things like that when the book is published in French and German, and they're selling it. It's going to be international. They're right now in this.
The Bronx is all over the place, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's this week coming or next week. They're going to Germany to a big convention over there.
Wow.
And they're going there, and they're going to.
This is exciting, sir.
It is. It's crazy. you know. But this
Wow.
is like Jimi Hendrix, right?
Right.
American, can't make it in America, goes to England.
All of a sudden,
blows
you're the
up.
best thing since sliced bread.
And that's the thing for people of color. I think that we have to sometimes leave
Mm.
the nest and
Right.
go abroad to you know, even though Canada's next door.
Right.
But you leave the nest, and, you know, because there is a lot of racial stuff here, and people don't give you opportunities. I mean, I've been in the industry for 20 years, self-publishing. I know a lot of people in the industry. No one's ever said, "Hey, let's get you a book deal. Let's get you set up." Let's do this.
Right.
And you know, it's because you have to be a certain persuasion, a certain culture, a certain ethnicity in New York City, particularly, to get those opportunities. You know.
Right.
And it's a rat race. You know. So. And in Canada, you know, it's a little bit different. So, and they thought everything I did was great. Like, you know, I haven't
Wow.
like in America, whenever I submitted stuff in the past, they would say, "Oh, your art's not that good. It's not mainstream. It's not the look we're going for." Like I submitted Black Power to Image. That was Trevor Von Eden, Paris Cullens, and myself worked on that project. Right?
Oh, you work with Paris on that?
Yeah. Well, he did some of the covers, and he did the
cool.
last issue he's reading there. And they were like, "This doesn't fit in our catalog. This is Image, right? The indie." And the thing is that you just look at these comic book companies. Who do they highlight? White people. You know, who do they highlight? It's who do they promote? They don't promote anybody that's of color, unless you're Asian. You know, sometimes, you know, but then that's the token, right? That's the new token, is the Asian face, the Korean face, the Chinese face, the Japanese face. Like Jim Lee is a token, you know, within his, you know, and he's moved up, but then he came from prominent wealth. You know, the guy was pre-med, went to medical school. He's not some comic book fan, you know, that grew up in the hood, you know, or anything like that. These people come from money, you know. And the whole industry is like that. It's not just comics, Hollywood too. I mean, you see that. You see people of color, but there's a people of color with money, you know, that you know, get into movies, get into this, get into that. It's, you know what I'm saying? The days of being on the street and making it on your own is vastly different since the internet and everything. You know?
Right. Right. Because you could do everything, but you still need that machine. This kind of
distribution is where they get you. You could do the whole thing by yourself now, you know. Since 2000, right? You could do the whole thing, put it up yourself, put it on YouTube, you know, whatever.
Well,
you know.
Actually, that's something I wanted to ask you before time is up. You create your own project. Can you just live off cons? It seems that a lot of people are just...
do. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, some people do. I can't. Because I'll tell you what, I know people that live off of cons because...
And they don't do anything besides just for a con. So I don't... Yeah. That is kind of funny, right?
The trick is some people get flown out, paid hotels, free tables. They kill it off of cons. That's a very small majority. Like I was talking to one fella, Will Torres, that does that yesterday, and I was really impressed. Like there's very few people that can actually do that. You know? A lot of artists, you know, are struggling. Even DC Marvel guys that were in the industry forever struggle with that. You know?
Now, would you say in your clique, in your community, is that as real? Because it's like, for instance, there was a bunch of a specific group. They had this beautiful setup. It was amazing. They spent a lot of money at a DJ. They had a whole thing, and they sold everything out. And then the next year, you didn't hear from them, didn't see them.
Oh, I know which group you're talking about.
And
there was a lot of like infighting.
It was amazing to watch.
The booth was expensive, and the way they allocated space and time, people were not happy with. That's why you didn't see it again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But is that as real? Because it seems like, okay, you're spending money and you're putting it out and but does that really equal fans?
No.
Okay.
It's temporary. People forget, man. We live in a mass media culture.
Okay.
It's like here today, gone tomorrow, right? Like you're in the news one day, you're getting some opportunity, getting FaceTime, and then next thing you know, people forgot. Like it used to be like months or a year. Now it's like the next day. You know, it's like people just because there's so much. It's like you have to be you need like an agent where you're constantly being put in there, and then sometimes agents take your money and they don't even do their job because they're repping all these people that can't even give you the equal thing. So it's really up to you to do it.
Okay.
I think I've always been a self promoter and promoted myself in anywhere I go and try to like hook up with people like yourself.
Well, thank you.
And network and like-minded folks, because not everyone out there in the industry are like you and me. Like these people that work for Channel 4 or News 12, whatever, they're not like us. We're like go-getters. It doesn't exist when we make it. Yeah.
Right.
But these guys, it's a job for them. They're getting a paycheck. They go out there. Some people got jobs. They're just trying to get from 9 to 5 and go home, and they're not trying to do anything extra. So it's like, we still have to work. We still have to create and put stuff out there. So we're living two lives.
And also economically, it doesn't mean anything at this point. If you're really real about it.
Yeah.
But there is a passion here.
There is.
This is, and that's that.
Exactly.
The authenticity that.
Yeah, if I thought about my comics, I'd be living in a shelter.
Still making comics. No matter what.
Yeah. Little cardboard sign by my comics. By my comic books. It's like, need money for comics. It's like.
Right.
But it's been 20 years since I've been doing it, and I put out this 20th anniversary edition. Right now, I've only made 5. I'm going to try to set up an Amazon account and put a Square account on my website so we can start selling them. It's the first 4 issues of World Without Superheroes, which was based on that lawsuit, And it's been 20 years of my life putting this book together, so it's been a long time. What are you going to do? It's like... So, things are harder, It's supposed to get smoother, easier as you get older. But for me, I find because of all the litigation I went through for the last 8 years with DC and Marvel, that puts you like in a mental hole. And then I had like personal stuff that puts you in a financial hold. So like $25,000 later, it's like, and you're broke. And then like, you're filing taxes, and then you owe the federal government money because Trump shut down the government for 30 days.
Right.
And now we got to pay for it. They don't charge millionaires, right? He's a millionaire or billionaire, and they don't charge him. So that's basically what's happening. It's just
that's real.
Real life happens, I put in my intro here. If you want me to read a bit of it, it just shows you.
Actually, can we do a part 2 and talk more about that book?
Yeah.
All right, so you know what? Give everybody your social media.
www.bxhcc.com. That's our website. It's Bronx Heroes on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram. You can find the Bronx Heroes, or you can just Google Bronx Heroes Comic Con.
Cool. Now we're also live on Facebook, and we're going to also put this on cable. So if you're watching us right now, live, just stay tuned. We're gonna roll music again and graphics and stuff like that for cable. So sit still. If not, when you're watching this on TV, you'll see the other part next week. Oh, well, you gotta wait, alrighty? All right, cool. You're watching GEEKCASTER, and hold on, folks. Hold on.